Hey, Kevin Hawthorne, Lakeland, Florida. How are you, man? Good to see you. Let's see who else we got here. Sorry, let me get this rolling. Shannon, how are you? Bacon Bits Ben Turner, good to see you. Kristen Melinda, Janet G. Tina Marie, Seventh Son. Hey, Mary, how are you? Let me get this thing. Sorry, I ran 30 minutes late this morning. We were packing. And we packed last night until pretty late. But you wouldn't believe the pile of boxes by the front door of this house. It's you no longer can see the front of the house. It is completely buried in the khaki color of packing boxes. I think we packed last night until we were about to fall down. Deaudrey Gore is here. Sandy Wendy, how are you? Janet G. You know what? A lot of familiar names here. I live for now. Hey, it's Pajama Pixie. What do you know? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Meredith Lynn, what's happening? Clint Tuesday. Don't know if I know that name. Welcome to the boat. I know Flick Fox and Fancy Nancy, though. That would be West Coast Fancy Nancy, not New Jersey Fancy Nancy. It's easy to confuse sometimes. Millie Dandelion, how are you? Subi? DJ Daddy-O, man. You are here early for a show. What? Are you you only get a day off a millennia? Are you sharing it with us? Daniel McCoy, good to see you. Karen Pooley, how are you? Virginia, Queen of Awkwardness, Layla Bradley. Sandra Harris, love it. And I do love it, but I meant hello, love it. Let's see here. Lumen's here. Olaf from Argentina. Can't take the caps out. That's all right, man. You're good. Own trip. Not a problem. Debbie Evans, how are you? Yeah, I was running about 30 minutes late. I am waiting until the packing has progressed to the point y'all are live with just a light bulb hanging from the ceiling instead of the background, like Whoville after the Grinch took all the stuff. You know what? You're not far off. Twin Mom, how you doing? Good to see you. Hello, Karen Stein. Lynn Sanity, good to see you. Kim Roy is in the building. Good to see you, Kim. So, I won't lie to you, people. I didn't sleep very well last night. I had a horrific night's sleep, which is a bummer because I should have been able to sleep pretty good. My body was damn exhausted, but the captain, Mary, is incredible. He really is. If Spanky had his way, he would have done the lifeboat this morning, but that wouldn't have been a good thing. Took last night off to watch my granddaughter dance at her recital. How good is that? Very, very cool, DJ Daddy-O. Spanky would have done this show today, folks. If I had let him, he would have. But it wouldn't have been a very dad thing to do. Chicka Cherry Cola, what's happening? It wouldn't have been a very dad thing to do. Because, he's pretty beat up. His girl took some abuse, you know? The thing about extractions are, even when things go perfect with an extraction, they're taking a pair of pliers. I mean, I'm not trying to bum anybody out here, but you know what they're doing, right? It's a pretty nasty procedure. If you've never had an extraction, well then. But if you've had teeth pulled, especially as an adult, and if they happen to be near the back, yeah, there's a whole lot of yarning back and forth on that puppy, right? They have to break your crap out of that bone that it parks in. It's just not really, it's major trauma to the mouth, says Janet G. And that's pretty much nailing it, isn't it? You know? You're safe. You're safe. Mine, not yours, working. Hey, Nikki Sanchez, how are you? Oof. Yeah, it really is awful. Love it. It really is awful. I'm done talking about it, but it's not pleasant. But the kid, my boy, he's a grown man. But I'll probably call him a kid when he's 70, which isn't nice. I have only been unconscious for tooth extractions, and lucky for me, I get dry socks. Wow. Well, that's pretty nice. Yes, Queen of Awkwardness, you're absolutely right. Watch out for dry socket. My first advice to Spanky was all of the ways to avoid dry socket. I am 100% with you. That was my number one deal. Will Spanx become the new James Bond villain? You know something? There's a chance. There's a chance. You know, when you sit in that, hey, Charlie Mullins, good to see you, man. When you, it's extremely difficult to not get dry socket, even if you aren't a smoker. There's a lot of truth to that. And you know what? The chances are worse if you get on and do a 1 hour talk show or a 1.5 hour talk show. Because you notice that comment came up without any assistance, right? I didn't have to do that one. Lovett says, oh, I've had that dry socket. Yeah, dry socket sucks. Just Jen. You know what? I'm all right. I didn't get a lot of sleep. You know what I mean? Women get dry sockets more than men. I did not know that. You know what, Chicken Cherry Cola? He is a beautiful soul. It's a great way to put it. My boy is, without a shadow of a doubt, a beautiful soul. He really is. Hey, look at that. It's Tommy Stiggs. Tommy Stiggs, how you doing, my brother? Shingali, good to see you. Murakami vibes for you, Spanx. Look at that. That's nice. Dig it. Dig it. I've never been given anything when having teeth pulled. Fun times. You know what, Flick Fox? Me either. Me either. I didn't get any extractions until I was sober. I never had any teeth pulled. Ooh, you know what? I pulled or tried to pull one of my own with a pair. Yeah, you don't want to guys don't want to hear this either. But I ended up breaking one in half, but it had a root canal done to it prior to the to me trying to get it out. And when it broke, all the infection came out. It was actually lovely. But every other time I have ever had an extraction, I was already off dope, which meant that the only thing I could take afterwards would have been, Tylenol or whatnot. The painkiller thing is waved bye-bye. Scooby Lee, good to see you. Glad you're here, Scoob. Hope you're feeling okay. It's Saturday morning, people. You know, the normally. Are you kidding? Oh, there we go. For a second there, I thought I didn't bring any water. Having hereditary angioedema, I'm terrified of the dentist. I don't know what that is, Tina Marie, but hold on, I bet I can figure it out. Angio. So you've got water around the heart, yeah? Angioedema? Isn't that water around the heart? Help me out with that. Somebody help me out with that. See that? I extracted 2 with a multi-tool. I would have rather that than visit the mouth bone people. Wow. Wow, that's hardcore. You know something, Deaudrey Gore, you're scaring me. You're scaring me. Deaudrey Gore says if you want a wild ride related to tooth extractions, Google Passion Gap. I live in a weird place. Yes. Okay. I'm not gonna do that because that yeah, that's rugged, but it's kind of a weird place. Why? Thank you. That's a kind thing for you to say. I'm happy to be helping my friend. You know something? I'm good. Blessed with another wake up. When you're not hoping for a parole date, everything else is manageable. Serenity prayer all day long, every day. You know what? You know what? Tommy Stiggs, that is going yard. It's a rare swelling disorder. Well, I knew the edema was from, but like angioplasty is where they run that catheter through a right through your valves to your heart. And I always thought angio was related to came from the heart. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, Tommy Stiggs, that's a beautiful thing to say, man. And it's absolutely the truth. There's probably no better way to say it either. Although, I'll be honest. Yeah, the lack of sleep shows. I believe that. I believe that. Lori Hart, going out again today. Going to be exhausted but social. Look at you. What the heck is going on around here? Lori Hart doesn't kick it inside anymore. I love that. I love that, Lori. Get out. Izzy E, good to see you. Get out there and see people. Hey, Jen Hobbs. I'm glad you're here, Jen. Kristen Melinda. Donna. Okay, we can really fire this thing up. Over here, the dentist hurts less because it's 100% covered by insurance. That would hurt less. That would hurt a lot less. Doesn't work like that, though. Wouldn't that be swelling in the skin? Angioedema? Too many years of medical terms. You know what? They do start to blend, right? I know edema is swelling, right? It's buildup of water, and swelling is edema. Valerie Nagy, I'm here. Sans notification. Little Latin for our Saturday morning. Nothing starts the morning off like a little good Latin, right? Speaking of which, where's Cricket? You know, Cricket has a little Latin tattooed on her. I love Cricket. Angio means vessels. Meredith Lynn, thank you. Okay. So, oh God, a terrible swelling disorder. Oh my God, Tina Marie. Yep, that would scare the hell out of me too. That's terrifying. And thank you, Meredith Lynn, for the assist. I love it when you guys do that. I really do. Hello, Robin Miners. How are you? Oh, the happiness driving away. I would imagine that's going to be a good time. Gonna make coffee, listening on the TV. Caffeine. You know what? I'm gonna do a little caffeine here. When the boat's done, I'm gonna switch to the high test. I'm doing water this morning, but I'm gonna crank it up. Joni Allen, did I say hello to you? Jimena, Zelda Z, good to see you. Okay, man, now the gang really is all here. All right, we'll fire it up. Sorry, I know I do roll call for 12 minutes, but hey, Mara, but I love you guys. I don't see everybody enough anymore. Simply Sarah, how are you? Layla, you got me on my knees. Layla. Hey, Dirty Mouse, good morning to you too. Matrix Rabbit. Matrix Rabbit, good to see you. Angioedema, swelling in the tissues below the skin, often around the face, eyes, throat, rare and scary. Okay. So in the tissues below the skin, so that all of the vessels that run through your subcutaneous layer rather just start puffing up. It's a terrifying concept. This is an absolutely terrifying concept. Thank you, Ellie J, by the way. I really appreciate that. Lori Caffel, how are you? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. So been for a nice cup of coffee. Salute from North Jersey. Tommy Stiggs, you're a gentleman and a scholar. And I really want to go back to what he was saying. Hey, Lisa Trimble, what's happening, my friend? I'm going to circle back to you, Lisa. But Tommy really said something that's pretty rugged. So in the feds, I did a state beef, right? I did one rep in the state. And when you go to prison in the state, you do get parole, right? Or you have a possibility of parole. And the state that I did time in had a really weird way of sentencing people. They'll do something like you get a 2 to 10. That's a sentence. So even when you get sentenced, you don't know what the hell your sentence is. Okay? I mean, you got to bring them 2 years, but might be in there 10. You have to do a minimum of 2. Whatever the bottom number is, you got to bring them all of it. So it's really a weird way because you get sentenced twice. The first time you get sentenced, you hear, yeah, I got a 2 to 10. Then you're going to go in there and a parole board's going to look at you again, right? And do the sentencing a second time. Nah, we'll leave you in. And if they leave you in, then you got to come back, depending on how long your sentence is. You come back in 6 months, or you come back in 1.5 years, or you come back in 5. Like if you got a really long sentence, the parole board can dump you for a nickel. You know, you got 5 years before you get to see the parole board again. And it's a bitch. It wasn't for me. I had a short rip, right? It was a little possession of stolen property. It wasn't even that bad a crime. But it's a bad crime, but it's not compared to a lot of the shit I got arrested for. But watching other cats, right? I honestly, no joke, didn't want parole. My sentence was so short that they were trying to kick me out. I didn't want it. When I walked in, they said, "Why should we give you parole?" I said, "Shove it in your can. I don't want your parole. I don't want it. So you do whatever you want with it." And they gave it to me. I treated everybody in there awful. And then my counselor called me in like a week and a half later. He goes, "Man, we need to talk about your parole hearing." I said, "Yeah, I know, man." I said, "But I didn't want parole. I was being a jerk for a reason." And he goes, "You got it." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I was calling to tell you got it." And then he goes, "But you got to fill out a parole plan to say where you're going." So I took I started pulling addresses out of the phone book. And one of the guys suggested that I use the governor's mansion because it would be funny. So I actually wrote down the governor's mansion as the address, and they didn't actually drive out. Apparently, somebody in the office knew it off the top of their head, but they weren't amused. And what ended up happening is they threatened me that if I didn't give them a legit address, that they could take my good time. And now what's happening is you're actually losing a crap load, right? So I called a friend of mine from the street and said, "Hey, man, can I give your house as a parole address? They're going to come out to check it out." And he goes, "Rocco, are you kidding me, man?" He's like, "There's 600 beer cans in here, right? I couldn't clean this place up from syringes, much less anything else." And I was like, "Perfect. Don't clean a thing, right? Leave it just the way it is." And they went out and opened the door, and he said, "Oh man, I thought you guys were coming tomorrow. You're gonna have to give me a moment to clean up." And they went in and sat down on a filthy couch and talked to him. And oddly enough, they rejected my parole. And while I was putting in for the next parole plan, I ran out of time. I mean, I had a really short sentence. Well, I had a really short sentence, and I shortened it even more with a bunch of things you could do, which you can do in the States. In the feds, it doesn't work like that. You do all the programming you want in the feds, it ain't getting your sentence any shorter. It just doesn't work that way. But in the feds, you know what your sentence is when you get in. The only thing you're waiting to find out is how much halfway house you get. And they can give you, in theory, they could give you a year and a half a halfway house. Like that doesn't happen. But I got, what'd they give me? I got a year of halfway house. I got 1 year. Unfortunately, they sent me to a halfway house in a different state, which meant I could not walk out that halfway house for the entire year, which sucks. If the halfway house had been in the city that I lived in, I would have gone to the halfway house for 3 weeks. Then I would have gone home, right? All you got to do is stop off, check in, show them where you're going to be, fill out all the paperwork, and you go straight to your house. The state I lived in didn't have a federal halfway house. Well, it did, but it would have been 900 miles from where I lived in the southern part of the state. I was like, why in God's name would I do that? I'm going to go build a new life in a town I don't live in. I'm like, nah, man, that doesn't make sense. So I went to the closest one that I could go to, which was not in the state that I lived in. It was stupid as hell, but Tommy nailed it, man. When your life is waiting to hear what that date is going to be, there's not much in the world that's more depressing than that. Honest to God, there's not much in the world that is more depressing than that. It's just horrific. But when you ain't got that every single morning, and I'll see that and raise it too, because I'll tell you something, Tommy, and this is the real deal. The other prison that I spent my life in, that heroin addiction prison thing, waking up every morning, no matter how friggin' bad life is. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care if you got a headache. I don't care, a migraine, whatever you got going on, that you can ride it out for about 5 or 6 hours, 7 hours, and your head's going to get better, right? Or whatever it is. You could take some, a anti-inflammatory, an NSAID, something like ibuprofen, right? But waking up in the morning and your eyelids opening, and the first thing you think is, I need a fix, right? I go, where's my next one coming from? That is worse than prison. Crap you not, man. I would rather be in prison sober than on the street doing heroin. No joke. No joke, man. It's a bad, bad drug. It really is. It is a prison of our own making. Yeah, Tommy Stiggs, 2 to 10. I mean, who does that crap? But that's the states do some really silly stuff. Having another depressed day, I guess it's just the same stuff, but I'm not getting anything done. Well, Lisa Trimble, for the people who missed the last few shows that you were here for, um, you, you know, having a depressed day. I'm not sure that depressed is the right word, right? I think of depression as a recurring, right? A recurring um, sadness, melancholy that doesn't go away. And with all respect to anybody, because I have it too, it's not based in something. You understand what I'm saying? If we're suffering from depression, like you get upset, people get upset. It's you get sad, right? You get angry, you get bitter. There are things that we get that are just part of a natural cycle, right? It really is. We're supposed to get pissed off. We're supposed to get sad. We were built that way. They're not, I know we feel like they're just these emotional things that happen to us. They're chemical processes that happen in the brain, right? So we were designed for those chemicals to fire for you to be sad. Messed up, right? But this is how we stay sane, right? The ebb and flow. When sad things happen, we deal with them, and we deal with them in a. Everybody deals with them differently, but we all deal with them the same way, right? We get sad, we cry. This is normal behavior, and what you're going through brings on sadness. We're not talking about Lisa Trimble. We're not talking about something irrational. Your roommate is close to dying, right? I'm not being mean. That's where we're at. He's really, really struggling. And you guys have been living together. I'm trying to remember it's a long time. 13 years? Whatever it is, a long time. This is pretty understandable. Now, thoughts and prayers for you, right? Thoughts and prayers for you, because what you're going through is so hard. Thank you, Christy Hughes. You know what? Christy's so awesome. Always says, never fails to thank the mods for keeping us safe. And you know something, peeps? This isn't the kind of channel where mods get to just kick it. Right? They do a lot of work on this channel because I don't know what it is, man. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. But if your goal is to help people, you're going to catch a lot of crap. And our mods work really hard to keep those idiots at bay. Lisa Trimble. So while my thoughts and prayers are with you 100%, I think that what you're going through is completely normal. I don't think depression is really what you're going through. You're going through sadness because this person means a lot to you and they're in a bad way. Praying for him as well. But I think how do I say this? The Lisa that I met first time I talked on the telephone, I don't think would be doing this well. I really don't. I think you've grown a ton, and that's through a lot of self-worth. I mean, self-work rather. You should be really, really happy because that crap doesn't come easy. Kay Taylor says, Tommy, I really can't find the words for how much of a great man and friend you are. Wow, that's nice. I've not been able to keep up with everything lately, but I'm so proud to be subscribed to this channel. Love you, love Reese. Wow, Kay Taylor, what a kind thing to say. That is a really, really nice thing to say. You know what? If you haven't been keeping up, then this probably looks really weird. Yeah, I'm in my partner's basement. I'm not in I'm not in my house. Tommy Stig says, my cousin, a role model for me as a kid, star high school wrestler, got on the I knew this story, got on the H, and the end result was us watching this strong man wither away from AIDS. Yeah, you know what? I knew this story. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? West Coast Fancy Nancy says, I agree, Tommy. I've dealt with depression for most of my life. You know what? I deal with it. I wrestle with it. Everybody get that? That's one of the more severe mental illnesses, because for me, it is an absolute mental illness. And there are times where it's debilitating. You know, depression is a very, very real thing. You know what I do? I tell people I'm depressed. That's what I do. I tell people I'm depressed, not just doctors, because I do tell a bunch of doctors. I got a team of people. I have a psychiatrist, and there is a psychologist, right, who works with me, and then there is my therapist, who's also a psychologist. But my therapist, see, I got two in a package deal. I kind of got the doctor and a I got a psychiatrist and a psychologist in a package deal, but I'm not getting rid of my therapist. They're never going to get. I moved to a different state, right? And they were trying to, and I'm like, yeah, no, my therapist comes with me. Yeah, my therapist is her name's Chris. She's not going anywhere, man. I need that. I need her so badly. I can't explain it. Prayers for everyone battling whatever beast you are battling. Love that, Tommy. Really do. I love that. Yeah, our mods rock. They really do. Our mods rock. They work harder than most in the business, to be sure. The other thing is, even if I'm on a good run, which happens, right? Because all of the hate and crap goes in waves. Everybody gets tired for a while, and then they come back and they hate you for a while, and then they get tired and they go away. Hey, Lacey. But even when we're on a really good one and there's nobody here causing trouble or being jackasses, the mods still got to work really hard because the stuff that we talk about here is heavy. I mean, don't get me wrong. We talk about Schoolhouse Rock. We talk about Saturday morning cartoons and crap when we were kids. Talk about a lot of stupid stuff too. But like the things that people are sharing. What Tommy Stiggs just said. That's like opening up a vein and bleeding out emotion, right? You got to be really. You got to have really good mods so that people can have conversations like the one they just had. By the way, Spanx Calhoun, Kathy Ann is still blocked. Don't know what happened, but that woman is still blocked. We did not undo it. I don't know how that happened, but if you're a mod of mine, maybe you could work on it because I currently cannot. Kathy, how are you? When I tell people I'm depressed, they aren't so nice. They call me selfish and dramatic and whatever. The only kind person is my therapist. Well, on the bright side, everybody here understands that when you tell somebody that you're depressed, they're not going to hit you with any of the things that you're talking about. You know what does that, right? Ignorance. They're not bad people, right? Seriously, more often than not, these aren't bad people doing this stupid stuff, right? They're just ignorant. And you understand the difference, right? Everybody, the difference between ignorant and dumb, right? Dumb is not a nice word. Ignorant is a actual, like there's a very good definition for the word ignorant, right? You don't know something, not because, but because nobody has taught you that, right? You could be the smartest person in the entire world, but if nobody teaches you Latin, well, then you're not going to do very well when people, drop Latin phrases, right? You could be the smartest person in the entire world if they do not teach you math, for real, right? You can get a guy with a 200 IQ. You're still going to have to teach this individual math. And I tell you what, they'll pick it up really quickly. But if you don't teach it to them, they're ignorant of math. Doesn't make them stupid. But people that say things like that, Kathy, are ignorant. So what you need to do is don't say to them, hey, I'm feeling depressed. Come and say it to people, right, who understand what that means, right? That very often there is a lot of stigma about depression with a lot of people. I can't understand it, says DeAudrey Gore. And you know what? And Lovett says, oh, last night out of nowhere, I was humming the Green Acres theme. Yeah, that's my fault. There's definitely my fault. Da-da-da-da-da. That's definitely my fault. Charlotte. Why, thank you. I'm probably not as good a friend as you guys think, but I can definitely carry boxes. Hey, Shelly Kelly. Rachel Roca says, I have battled depression my whole life and realized that most caring people battle depression because they know how it feels and don't want to see anyone else in the same way. Exactly. And guess what? That works for everything. Did you know that? I crap you not. That works for everything. I'll give you an example. Let's say you had the misfortune, and I say that with the ultimate in respect because the people who do this are heroes. But if by some chance you had to endure battle on behalf of your country, right? While I think that is heroic, it takes an unbelievable, right, toll on the people who do it, right? Now, when you come back, you will get the help you need sitting in rooms full of people who did the same thing. If by some chance you survived childhood abuse, you're probably going to get the vast majority of your help sitting in rooms with people who also survived childhood abuse or SA or drug addiction or anything else, right? And the best part of those people is exactly what our friend just said. They don't want to see anyone else in the same position. I'm not going to lie to you, people. Right? I'm not I'm not doing this for the accolades or the fun. I'm doing this because it really is important, man. I'm really bummed out as I can't afford to go on a cruise. Had 4,000 unexpected medical bills fall out. My God, Mara, I hope you are okay. Because I'll tell you what, um, worse more than a cruise or anything else. I'm concerned about $4,000 worth of medical bills. That sounds frightening. Philly Donna says empathy is a hard emotion to find in today's world. So many people just looking out for themselves. Oh boy, there's a lot to that. And you know what, Mara, you are in my thoughts and prayers. And you never know. You never know what the future holds. Holy hell! If you don't believe that, eh? Never know where you might be in a couple of weeks, right? The world's got a very unusual way of changing on you. You know what I mean? Really got that way. Yes, there's no reason for anybody to make anybody feel older than they already are. Huh? No reason to. Since group therapy, I'll shout it from the rooftops and share all my tools. Before that, it was hidden and I was masked up. Oh, no question. Let me tell you something. How many times have you heard me say, hey, I'm not a 12-step guy, right? I'm not a 12-step guy. I don't badmouth 12 steps because it works more than any other method. It's hard to argue with it. Now, doesn't mean it's more successful than any other method because it's not. It just means it's more successful. And it's more successful because it is what more people have been exposed to. But their success rate runs about 20%. That's a fact. And no matter what other way you get sober, you run 20%. That's the success rate. You'll hear places tell you different numbers. They're lying to you. And they can lie to you because nobody can demand that they hand over all of the records, right? Because honestly, the actual files, it's not like putting a cast on someone and sending them out the door, right? Did you cure them? Well, that doesn't really happen, does it? It's a little harder to work with. Hey, Tampa B man, how are you? Tampa B man. Tampa B is one of the people that I reach out to very often when I'm really hurting. No joke. Because she's very good at hearing me complain. Honestly, and that's kind of it's kind of an important thing. It really is. But Christy Hughes, don't apologize for having to bounce. Thank you for stopping in, man. It's huge. Really glad that you're here. DeAudrey Gore says, I can't comment about 12 steps for addiction, but 12 steps for Al-Anon was the gateway to me getting therapy because I finally believed that that talking helped. Yeah, no question, right? And before AA, there was nothing, right? The medical community threw their hands in the air and said, yep, can't treat that. You can go buy a physician's desk reference. If you find an antique physician's desk reference, it's fascinating. Sherry, good to see you. What happens is you bust open the book and you get to the part about alcohol and it says, keep them away from firearms, right? Don't let them operate heavy machinery and, right? Make sure that their habit doesn't hurt other people. That's literally all it said. You can't treat these people. They're going to drink themselves to death. So make sure that their habit isn't going to hurt anybody else. That was the medical community. And two addicts, one dude said, I can't stop drinking. He said, of course you can't. No addict can stop drinking. Okay, maybe I can keep you from drinking tomorrow. I know I can't keep me from drinking tomorrow. Maybe I could keep you from drinking tomorrow. Silly shit, isn't it? For real. How silly is that? But those two cats changed the world. And make no mistake, no matter what you think of 12-step programs, and I'm not a fan, but we wouldn't be having this conversation if those two gentlemen didn't start AA. Bank on that. We would not be having this conversation. I don't dislike AA because of the 12 steps. I don't dislike AA because of the God stuff. I don't dislike AA for any of the reasons that everybody else dislikes. I just can't stand the fact that it got hijacked, right? It's Alcoholics Anonymous. Nobody knows who goes, right? You're not, it's not about you. You can go and do whatever you do. That's great. Obviously, I don't go the anonymous route. That doesn't work very well for me. But that's the idea, right? Go to any courtroom today and you're going to hear a judge go, "What's your last name? Smith, case number, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're going to do this, this, and this. And I'm ordering you to 90 days of AA in the next, 90 meetings of AA in the next 90 days." Court ordered. The whole world hears the guy's name being sent to. Okay, well, that's never what was supposed to happen, right? Ever. Woman says spent 10 years in 12-step recovery and the last 5 practicing harm reduction instead. You know what? I know people hate me when I talk about this. God, I get so much hate mail. Good for you, man. Good for you. Harm reduction is awesome. And you know what? Boy, I'm not going to make it friends, but abstinence is not for everybody. It's not. I make a lot of friends with that, but it's the truth. There are people for whom that model simply doesn't seem to work. And for those people, maybe the harm reduction model in some cases works better. And that can take on a bunch of different shapes. When people hear the phrase harm reduction, they think about needle exchange programs. And make no mistake, that is harm reduction. But harm reduction is, it comes in a hell of a lot of forms. A guy that was, smoking 2 grams of heroin a day and now smokes 2 joints a day. Oh, he traded one drug for another. Yep. Good trade though, right? I mean, for real. You guys have probably smoked weed. Would you rather have somebody, right, on heroin? Well, there's no heroin, so it would be fentanyl today, wouldn't it? So if somebody trades fentanyl for weed, you think I'm going to give them crap and tell them they need to get off weed? Not my job, man. But if the person's still doing street drugs that can kill them, I really would like those people to stop what they're doing. And if they can't, then we need to talk about harm reduction, because what they're doing is literally, right? It's no different than playing Russian roulette with a pistol. No different at all. Well, you'd be a lot safer playing Russian roulette with a pistol. We got some mathematicians in the house, right? 6 out of 10 or 1 out of 6. Sounds like 6 out of 10 is more than 50%. I was told there'd be no math. But 6 out of 10 does sound like more than 50%. And that would require you putting 3 bullets or more into a 6-shooter and then spinning it. The drugs that are on the street today are so damn dangerous. There is no such thing as a safe supply of drugs anymore in our country or in the world for that matter. That's no joke. Shelley says, quitting is hard, but the very first step is the most important. The person wants to make a change. The last step is to protect the quit with all you've got, the promise you make to yourself. Shelley, I love that. I love that. Truthfully. Now, I will also, for me, having had a spiritual awakening, right? Because I may not be a 12-stepper, but I'm a 12th stepper, right? Like that 12th step thing is it's basically the backbone of my life at this point. I think is probably the 12th step, because I have had a spiritual awakening, and when I see people that are living the way that I lived, it's horrific. It's probably the ugliest thing in the world, right? It's so hard to watch that. It's just yeah. Hey there, Tommy and everyone. How's it going? My hand is sore from writing 6 journal entries last night. How you doing? How good is that? Boy, oh boy, people, if you're not writing in a journal, you're just not going to get as much out of life as you should. It is not an accident. It is not by accident that everybody who is successful in life journals. Go read some biographies. You're not going to find anybody. I will get an email though, because there's always that guy. Hey, do you know so and so? Well, okay, well, it's the vast majority of people who have been very successful in life have journaled a lot. Jeremy Sheldon says, the 3 steps. Give me 3 steps, mister. 3 steps towards the door. Yes. I like it. I like it. You guys got a back door? Jamie Palmer. I don't think I said hello to you, did I? Did I just start in on you without even a hello? If so, I apologize. Candy's Life. Yeah, harm reduction. I really catch a lot of crap about the harm reduction model. But as I said, I'll give you another great example. We had a fellow on the boat, no longer hangs out here, which is fine. He didn't leave in a huff. He left because he said very kindly one day, you know what? I found a local group I'm going to be kicking it with, and stops in about once every 2 or 3 months to say, hey man, I'm clean. I'm still doing well. But when dude started, somebody brought him to me and said, hey, you got to talk to Tommy. When I got on the phone with this dude and I said, you know, what's your drug of choice? And he said, booze. I said, how much are you drinking? He said, about 1.5 fifths a day. That's a ton of booze, man. Right? A bottle of bourbon and then a half a bottle of bourbon. The small ones, the big dogs, right? So on the way to drinking a handle a day. It's a lot of booze, man. A lot of booze. And this was not a big guy, right? Not a big dude. It drives me crazy that non-addicted persons dismiss those who are. Understand they are sick. We wouldn't do that with cancer patients, right? But people don't seem to get that, Shelley. Sadly, people don't get the disease concept quite as well. So this guy's drinking 1.5 fifths a day, and I said, well, you can't quit cold turkey. No chance in hell you survive that. Not if you're drinking 1.5 fifths a day. Your odds of surviving that are thin. You're going to seize up. It's going to be really bad. That's way too much. You're going to have medical assisted treatment, which he tried, didn't work. Went back, continued to drink, got the guy on the phone a second time. And I said, hey, bro, what if you could just knock that 1/2 fifth off? And I don't think anybody had ever said anything like that to the dude. I said, how about if you just knock off the 1/2 fifth? I mean, for God's sakes, you're drinking 1.5 fifths a day, right? Could we just cut that back to 1/5? It's a lot of booze, man. It's 32 shots. You really need to do 16 more on top of that. So, dude kicked off the 1/2 fifth, which I found really impressive. And it's harm reduction, right? People looking in from the outside may not have thought that a whole lot was getting done, but you know what? It was harm reduction. That dude was doing better. Then, with absolutely no lecturing on my part, he called to say, guess what? I said, you quit drinking. He said, no, I'm drinking 1/2 fifth a day. That's better than 1.5 fifths, right? Well, now, dude is in AA, goes to AA, has not drank in a very long time. Used to come here for peer support. Every once in a while, just stops in to say, hey, I'm here. But I promise you, if I jumped that guy's crap the first day and said, you need to quit, right? I don't think we'd be friends. I don't. I'm also not in the business of telling people they're drug addicts or alcoholics, right? Not my gig. You're all pretty good at being able to tell yourself if you got a drinking problem or if you're an alcoholic, because they're two different things. Donna B, thanks for the lifeboat and crew for providing a safe place to be. You are all amazing people. Love that. Thank you. Hey, it's a very large kitty just jumped in it. Get over here. Great cat. It really is a great cat. My last alcohol abuse was 3 1.5 liters in 38 hours. That's vicious. You're lucky to be alive, my friend. That's that's when you're getting right up into that alcohol poisoning. And for those who are, if alcohol is not your drug of choice, you know how long you got to abuse booze. No disrespect, Steve, but that's not a habit you can pick up in a week, right? You got to spend a long time working to get to a point where you're knocking down 3 of those in little more than a day. It's horrifying. Thank God you're not there, my brother. Thank God. Aspire to inspire. You're okay. Late's not such a bad thing. They say to quit smoking, take 1 cigarette out of the first pack two out of the next, and so on. Slowly gets your system adjusted to less nicotine. Well, that's a pretty cool idea. I fortunately do not smoke anymore, but what I have been doing is kind of similar. Look at this big kitty. What I have been doing is kind of similar. Uh, Problem is she wants to get on the keyboard. Um, what I've been doing is, so I do these things, right? This vape thing, and I've been doing it for a long time. I stopped, then I got back on it, and I stopped. I'm just stupid, and it's boredom. Honest to God, for me, it's boredom. And there's something if you did prison time. There's that they won't let you do nicotine, and the day you walk out, it's like it's just dumb, is what it is. But what I've been doing is I started out with that I don't remember what the number signifies, but my nicotine level was 5.5. I don't know what that 55% or 55 per whatever. I don't know, but it was 5.5. That's what they call it. And I went from 5.5 to 3.5 to 2.5. Now I'm at 15. And I would have gone lower than that, but it doesn't work like that. After the 2.5, the lowest one I could get was 15. The next one's 5. And at that point, it's like taking a Merit ultralight and drilling a hole in the side of the filter and then smoking it. Like you're not getting a whole lot of nicotine. You still get the exact same flavor, which is really kind of different with the vape thing. I'm the current expert in quitting smoking. I was the most addicted person in the history of smoking. Shelley, I don't know, man. I've known some pretty viciously addicted people. I'm going to tell you guys the way that I quit smoking the first time. And you know what? People get so upset when I tell them this because, Millie the Dandelion says, watching someone yesterday on Snooze. Who knew all the athletes are on them? You know what? I quit Snooze. I did Snooze for a really long time. When that first came out, I did a lot of Snooze. That's the spitless tobacco. See a lot of it made by Camel. And I did because when that first came out, I was still speaking and you couldn't smoke on an airplane. I also could pop one of those in on stage. Like you could do it while you were speaking. It was just lovely. But they start messing with you. They're just as addicting as cigarettes. I think a lot of the people now are doing just nicotine, right? It's a little pouch, but there's no tobacco. It's just a flavored nicotine pouch. See that? See that? Huh? Jeremy Shelton, see that? Mara, I would imagine that was hard. And you know something? Please don't think that if you think that that's the only shot you're going to get to meet us, then you're being silly. Of that, I can assure you. We are. There we go. We're going to be crisscrossing the country on a pretty regular basis. In fact, we were really trying to do something. This move, is once this is over, it's really going to be pretty easy. Shelly is currently almost 9 years clean. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys how I quit smoking the first time. And every time I tell people this, they get really bummed out because it's gone. This technology doesn't exist anymore. But they used to sell a thing. And I'm talking about a long, long time ago. Like this was high-tech crap because I got it in the 80s. And it looked like a pager, right? And the way it worked is when you got it, you put in, there was a bunch of questions the thing asks you. And keep in mind, this is the 80s. So it wasn't like it was just like a pager, little, how the digits used to come out, like a digital watch, liquid crystal display, LCD, boring as hell, right? But it would pop up and say, what is your height? What is your weight? Right? How much do you smoke? You tell them. And then it would say, okay, start. And start is for an entire week, you just smoke cigarettes. You do whatever you do. But every time you smoke a cigarette, you would hit a button on the device. You're telling the device when you smoke. You're telling the device how you smoke, at what time of day, after meals or whatever. The device is learning exactly what you do. Starting on the first week after that, right? Because you do that for a week. Now the machine is going to tell you when to smoke. And the thing is, in the beginning, it lets you smoke. It lets you smoke a lot, but it doesn't let you smoke when you want to smoke. And it's bizarre, right? You're not smoking after a meal. It just wasn't allowing that, right? It's going to tell you exactly when to smoke. And a lot of times it's like a pain in the ass. The alarm goes off and you're like, ah, damn it. I don't want a cigarette right now. But if you don't do that cigarette right now, then you're going to have to wait until the next one. There's no cheating. There's none of that. And I told the story on here. The first time I got it, I broke it intentionally because me and a partner got it at the same time. And once I realized what it was doing to me, I'm like, man, this sucks. So I broke it. And I said, hey, man, this thing doesn't work. And he goes, don't trip. That thing's got a money back guarantee. He's mail it in. They're going to give us another one. So I mailed it in. Yes, Kristen, Melinda. Yes, it could be fun for all sorts of things. Tons of people swear by Alan Carr's easy way to quit smoking. Fascinating to me. I don't know that one, Lumen, but I'm going to look it up. Where's Kathy at? I'm down to 4 cigs a day. That people is a classic and perfect example of harm reduction, right? I won't lie to you. I'm always shocked every time Kathy says that she smokes. And I'm not being mean, but if you go to her page, she's a musician, and she's not one that plays the guitar, right? She plays an instrument that requires your breath, and she plays it unbelievably. That machine, Pavlovian dogged you. That's exactly what it did, right? That is exactly what it did. Hey, sweet tea, it's turning you into Pavlov's dog, but it's ringing the bell when you don't want it rung. We need the technology smart folks to make an app like that beeper thing. I agree with you. I think that would be a great idea. Alan Carr was the first step in my quit. Some people can quit after they read it, not me. Where did that just go? There we go. Some people can quit after they read it, not me. Chantix and hard work from me. You know what? A lot of people have done really well with Chantix. If you're going to do that, tell your doctor all other medications that you take, right? We have a person that was still on the lifeboat. I don't know whether or not they'd want me to tell you their name though. So we'll just say there was a person on the boat that was getting ready to quit smoking and asked the doctor went and saw a cessation doctor, someone that works specifically with people who are trying to quit smoking. And this genius didn't say, hey, are you on any other medications? Wrote the person a prescription for Chantix, and the person takes a crap load of Wellbutrin, right? 3 150 milligram time released pills. So when the Chantix was added, this person was taking an awful lot of an SSRI that has the ability to make you a little kind of tweaky. Has anyone ever tried hypnosis to quit smoking, says Tina Marie. Has anyone here ever tried? Lisa Trimble. See, Lisa Trimble said she tried quitting with Chantix and it ended up putting her in a hospital, mental hospital. The reason I think that is because it is correct, serotonin syndrome. It's a lot of Wellbutrin. It's a lot of Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin is not technically an SSRI, but it's pretty damn close. Aspire to Inspire tried, but for weight loss. Shelly has tried it. I tried hypnosis for smoking. Didn't work for me, obviously, says Tampa Bay. So here's the deal on the hypnosis thing. I have never been hypnotized, right? I've never gone down that road. However, I was a professional public speaker, and I went around the country going to hotels primarily. Most of the work I did was in like the rooms, the large ballroom kind of things that you rent in hotels, right, for conventions and stuff, and put a bunch of seats in there. But you get to know everybody else that's going around the country doing stuff because you kind of end up in the same places a lot, right? So somebody in there is selling a different, whatever they're selling, and you get really bored. You spend a lot of time in hotels. So you go and you sit in the back of a room and you watch what people are doing, that kind of thing. Hello, Lisa. Lisa. Good to have you. Lisa. Lisa. Who would have known? Big fan of your work, your early stuff. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, it's not a big fan of Lisa's early work, but it's funny. Paul McKenna has a lot of hypnosis audio guides, LEJ. Good to know. So there was a guy going around the country. I don't know what his name is, but that's what he does. He does primarily quit smoking seminars, right? That's his thing. But it's hypnosis, and it's a money back guarantee thing. And I remember I did the hypnosis. It worked for me for 7 years. I got pissed at my boss and started back. Stupidest thing I ever did. Karen, that's awful. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That sucks. But so I would sit in the back of the room and I would watch these people. Sorry, that's really foul. I would go to the back of the room and I would watch these people do their stuff, right? Like I would watch him do hypnosis, and I could hear him probably for 8 months, right? We would end up in the same hotels, almost parallel. And very often they're done by the same booking agents and all that. But to make a long story short, I could hear what they were doing. And one day I finally I went over there and I was watching from the back, and he was hypnotizing like 25, 30 people at once. Like they had small little sections, but there's a bunch of people there. And I thought, man, there's no way. I just didn't believe for a second that now I tend to be a skeptic, but I talked to some of the road crew, right? Because our road crew and their road crew, you end up in the bar, right? You end up hanging out in the same place. There's nothing to do. But they said, this stuff's real. And they said a ton of people actually quit. It's 100% real. Now, if you had asked my road crew that, they would have said, no, this isn't real. Right. I mean, yeah, people might be able to make money, but it's a hustle. I don't think these people were lying to back up the guy, is what I'm saying. Right. The road crew is usually not like that, but they said, no, absolutely. It works, but it works for about, 40%, 30%, something like that. There's a certain percent that works for. And I said, and the rest get their money back. And he goes, yeah, well, it's not as easy as it sounds to get your money back. Apparently, why I can't get this off my glasses? If this is a scratch, people, I'm screwed. I cannot wear glasses that have scratches. My eye goes right to them. You know what I mean? It's used to do that with the sunglasses too. I can't tell you the number of sunglasses I had to scrap because I got a scratch on them. There we go. Next goal, 3 a day. Kathy, perfect, right? At 4 cigarettes a day, the next goal should be 3. Doing perfect. Another great cheat trick, right? If you're trying, because as Shelly said, every trick in the book, everything you can try, poke a hole in the filter. For real. You know that if you take a regular like Marlboro Red and you poke a hole in the side of the filter with a pin, something sharp, or 2 holes, like one on each side, because that lets air in, it sort of takes a regular cigarette and makes it hit far more like a light. Well, I knew a girl that was trying to do just what you're doing, like go from 5 cigarettes to 4. You're going from 4 to 3. Before she would just drop the one off, she would poke like 40 holes in the side of the 4th cigarette a day, put a bunch of holes in the side. And then she would smoke that like that for a day or two, right? That was the 4th cigarette each day. And then she would throw that one away and do the same thing with the next one. And is it all in your head? Probably. Probably. Guess what? Everything we do is in our head. Nothing that we're going to do here, especially on this channel ever, is anything else, right? Are these head games? Yeah. That's exactly. I've done the poke-a-mole method. Yeah, exactly. Poke the hole method. I love it. See, the anything you can do to cheat. Anything you can do to cheat it, right? There was a guy on a TV show back in the 60s. I think Oswald Cobblepot was his name. and he would use his umbrella to hypnotize people. He later went on to become a boxing trainer for a guy in Philly. You're a funny guy, Jeremy Shelton. That is a good one, though. Oswald Cobblepot. That's a name that I love to pull out, and it's a great if you know that the person you know knows that name. Every once in a while, you'll see a spot on dead ringer for Oswald Cobblepot, and when you drop that, you'll get a really good laugh. Magnesium recommended for sleep has been great, no matter how long it lasts or some sort of placebo. It is glorious to fall asleep and stay asleep. You know what? I have not taken it. I feel stupid because I know it's here. I delivered it here. I delivered it here by hand. Yeah, my dad has no problem telling me when he needs new glasses, Tommy. The scratches drive him crazy too. Yeah, it's bad, man. Clean day for me. I work tomorrow. Hi, everyone. Clean day for me. I work tomorrow. So that means you're sober today or you're cleaning up today. Today you're going to clean. Well, I hope clean means that you're sober too. That would be a good thing. I'm having a blast. Oh, I'm having breakfast while I listen. That's odd. If loving bacon is wrong, I don't want to be right. That's right. No, you're good. Nothing wrong with that. Why, thank you, Miss Sunrise Dawn. That's a very kind thing to say of you. I appreciate that. I will not lie, people. I didn't do a whole lot this morning other than toss on a turtleneck and brush my teeth. That was about it this morning. I woke up, like I said, I did not sleep well last night. I got very, very little sleep. So when I woke up to my alarm going off. And if you want to do a show at 7 o'clock, don't set an alarm for 7 o'clock because that's literally what I did. I don't know. I must have set the alarm really late. We packed until, I don't know if we packed until the morning, like if we packed past midnight, but boy, did we do a lot yesterday. We really did. We got a lot done yesterday. In fact, we packed Quib's closet, and I'm going to need therapy. Just saying. Those nicotine receptors can sneak up for smoking. You know what? Nicotine is a unbelievable. It's an unbelievable drug. I don't think people give it the credit that it deserves. The reason that I think for me, the reason that nicotine is such a hard drug to quit is the delivery method, right? Take this from somebody that has put drugs into your body every way that you can, right? Every way that you can. I promise you, there's no way that you can put something into your body that I haven't done. And when you breathe it into your lungs, heroin will get you well faster breathing it in than it will shooting it. And I mean, it's noticeably faster. Noticeably faster. Fastest way to get something into your system is to do it through your lungs. And with nicotine, that first friggin' drag, right? You bring it in, doubles the dopamine in the body, right? Dopamine times 2. Well, who doesn't like double the dopamine, right? Really, really hard, especially because normally when we manipulate our dopamine levels, right, it is a huge friggin' thing. 5-day cigarette free. I'm going to be honest with you, Sunrise Dawn. I'd have been shocked if you didn't say that. I anticipate holding this puppy up for the next, let's do the math, 360 days. There's no leap year next year, right? Miss Sunrise Dawn, I don't think you're going back. I think this is the one, man. You're 5 days cigarette free. You made it. Now, that doesn't mean you ought to kick back and relax, right? But I think that that's probably the coolest thing ever. How happy are you? Roberta, you know what, people? This is probably a subject I shouldn't even go down. This is the lightest I've ever been in my life. I've never weighed less than I do right now. That hand-to-mouth addiction from nicotine is my biggest problem, says Zelda. Yeah, it is just so it's quick and it's easy. I look like Professor Henry Higgins from My Fair Lady. Wow. Well, I'll take that. It is a very, very it's just such a it's such a hard addiction, Zelda. It really is. It's such a hard addiction. I absolutely I can't do high doses in vapes. I inhale and it truly makes me dizzy, says Philly Donna. Yeah, well, if you're gonna go the harm reduction method and trying to go vaping instead, don't I don't think you go and just like don't go to 7-Eleven and buy, one of the vaping products that they sell there or whatever. I think you go to a place like the place that I go. The guy that runs this thing is just a pro. I mean, honestly, there's no other way to say it. He said he started the business to help people quit. He doesn't use it's all food grade stuff that they mix in for the liquids. Am I saying it's healthy? No, I'm not, and I need to quit it. But I'm spinning my vape as I type, says Tampa B Man. You're doing low dose vape. Good for you, Zelda. Nothing wrong with low dose vape. But I usually talk to somebody because they can usually square you away. If you say, man, I hit this and my head spins, the guy will go, oh, yeah, we'll work that. Right. Let's horrifically decrease the nicotine level. Yeah, the next time I go in, I'm going to 5. The next time I go in, I'm going to be going to 5. And 5%. I mean, the 5, I started out at 5.0. So 5 is going to be almost nothing. Yep, another Maria. I was surprised that magnesium is working for me right now. You know what? I'm definitely going to try it tonight, I should say. It's strange. Usually when I talk, everybody just tells me to put my hand over my mouth and keep it there. Really? Yeah, I think you're being funny, Jeremy. Ciggies have 3 components: physical addiction, social, and habit. That's why it's hard to quit. Cigarette companies knew this. You're damn right they did, Shelley. You're damn right they did. In fact, you can go back and there are books that you can read where they talk about some of the conversations. Barbarians at the Gate is a book. It's pretty interesting, and they talk a lot about cigarettes. RJR Nabisco, the Reynolds tobacco, all that merger, all that. Oh man, Lisa Trimble says, "What do you think about getting a fidget toy to help keep your hands busy when trying to quit smoking?" Get a fidget toy to keep your hands busy when you're trying to quit anything. I promise you, fidget toys are the business. And if the noises and stuff from a fidget toys drive you nuts, get something like that. Right? This is it looks like an ice cube, but it's made of glass and it just kind of goes up on one side. I play with these things all day long. I'm not kidding you, all day long, because I'm that guy, right? I am definitely that guy. Shelly, they were really Zelda's down to 3%. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. I don't think I'll ever get that low. I think I'll quit at 5. I don't think I'll ever get below that. In fact, the place I go, they won't do any they do it in 5 increments. So I started at 5.0. I went to 3.5. No, I went to 3.0. Then I went to 2.5, and now I'm at 15. Hubby says I'm inspiring him to eventually quit. Miss Sunrise Dawn, no question. This happens a lot. Shannon Smith says valerian root helps for sleep. Did not know that. But I did know that Epsom salt baths help with pain. Miss Luna says magnesium L-threonate, threonate. Specifically, it's great. I will look up that specifically. You know how often I go back and read stuff that you people put into the chats? Honestly, it's like having the resource is just incredible. You guys are awesome, man. Such a great crew. Hello, Laura Lou. Glad you're here. RJR Reynolds family all smoked and they all died of cancer from smoking. I knew that. The Reynolds family lost basically everybody to cancer. Smoke a straw, says Caddy. You know what? That's not so strange. Yes, Tommy, they work. I'm a teacher and it helps students. Thank you, Aspire to Inspire. I wish I had had them as a kid. Wish I had had these as a kid, man. I really do. My daughter probably has the largest collection of fidget toys on earth. That's it. Usually, I get her one at every holiday. She really, really loves them and needs them. Jeremy Shelton says you're never too old for a tongue ring. It's a decent distraction. You're right. Absolutely. There's probably 4 or 5 other places you could put a bar through that would distract you as well. I'm going to hold off. My husband quit in 2014. He chewed on cinnamon sticks to fill the urge to hold and suck on a butt. Smokers hasn't smoked since. I love that, Kim Roy. I absolutely love that. The only thing that has helped me sleep is weed gummies with CBD and melatonin. I do not do the CBD and melatonin. Now, I will be really honest. I did not take a gummy last night. So that is by way of full disclosure, I did not. And I will tell you this, and I'm not telling you this to do this. This is me. I'm not suggesting that this is for anybody else. It's not my advice to anybody else, nothing, but this is just what I'm doing currently. I do not, I don't take gummies 365 days a year. I cycled them on and then I cycled them off because I don't get the nightmares, right? That I took the gummies to kind of tamp down. They don't come 365 days a year. They come in cycles. Something will be going on with my head, and I will have nightmares, and it'll go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. So I try to cycle off, and then when they start back up, I get back on it. I don't want to build a tolerance up to the stuff where I need to take a bunch more, right? I don't want, I just, and I know who I am. It's probably a better idea if I'm not just perpetually taking anything. It's just, I don't know. It's just probably not a great thing for me. So currently I am in one of my cycle off phases, not because I can't get them here, because I can. In fact, I went out and bought gummies here, but I haven't broken into them yet. I still have a few that I brought with me. You heard me, that I brought with me, but I haven't needed to break into the new ones. I probably will start. I may start again tonight just because I've been having real problems with the sleep. Kathy says weed gummies make me too mellow. Once I didn't know why it was scored into 4. Oh, and ate the whole gummy. Guess it was 4 doses. Yeah, well, that'd make you a little mellow. I couldn't put anything in my mouth reminiscent of Siggy's. It was too triggering. Try to take a deep breath in and out slowly. Sig pang will pass within 30 seconds. See this? This is the kind of crap you're not getting somewhere else. B. Hendricks says, this great day will find you, everyone. Thank you. I love this comment, Shelley. I really do. This is why I love it when we talk about things like this. Waking up on my second cup of coffee, waking up with the crew and Tommy is going to set the tone for my whole day. Damn straight, Linsanity, and it's going to be a good one. I couldn't put anything in my mouth reminiscent of Siggy's. It was too triggering. You hear this stuff? Take a deep breath in and then let it out slowly. And that pang, right, that craving will pass in 30 seconds. I love that. I spoke to Russ, sent me an email the other day. He's super busy. I miss him too. He's a good dude, really a good dude. But he'll be back. He's just the man is, and he apologizes every time he reaches out. I'm like, man, can't say sorry. If you're working 160 hours a week and not seeing people, it's not your fault, right? Like if he was out partying and not hanging with us, we'd be a little bummed out. But good Lord, the man's working hard. Kind of proud of him, honestly. I either do my entire to-do list in one day or nothing. Wow. That sounds kind of familiar. I can get a week or 2 of a bit better sleep with mint tea. 2 to 4 tea bags, a mug, and let it steep. When do you drink that, Maria? And run this by me again. You can get a week or 2 of a bit better sleep with mint tea. So is there no caffeine in this? Is this And if it is, when do you drink it? Either way, when do you drink this? Coca tea can really get me into trouble. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, yeah. Jeremy Shelton says Carl Winslow from Family Matters had a good meditation saying, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? Didn't work. Must have been too much Steve Urkel. Well played. You know what? The guy that played Urkel's old man, great story. That dude had his comeback story was epic. He's a convict. He did prison time. He's got a really great story. Good human. I've seen people do this, Kathy. Um, yeah, I've seen people do that with the half straws, and we've talked about this here. They're no longer apparently sold in the U.S., but there was prior to the vape pen, there was the Nicotrol inhaler, and you don't see anything. There's nothing burns. It's literally just like sucking a almost like a I don't even know how to say it. It's like almost like a powder, I guess, but it's not. You're not lighting anything on fire. Was he the cop in Die Hard? Yeah, he was the cop in Die Hard. He was the. That's exactly right. He was the cop in Die Hard. No, listen, don't get this messed up. Corey Feldman is the comeback king, and you watch yourself, man. You watch yourself, right? Don't ever cut down on the comeback king because that boy is the comeback king. You cannot tell me that comeback king chant is not the saddest thing you've ever seen. Subi said, I used a bendy straw when I quit 37 years ago. I'm sorry. What? You have been cigarette free for 37 years? You have won, woman. The contest is over. You have won. No, I mean the personal contest, not the contest here. If you've made it 37 years without nicotine, I don't think we're too concerned. I think there's a pretty good chance you're not going to smoke again. You know what's funny though? If you took one, you'd be right back. It's amazing how that. Yeah, Sandy Wendy says Sue B, 37 years ago. Congratulations, man. That is just incredible. Yeah, the Feld dog. I'll take the comeback king. I'll take that. Thank you very much. That's a kind thing to say. They say that Feldman is the fourth BG. See, now we just know that you're not a fan. That just proves exactly what's up with you. Did you hear that, people? This man said that Corey Feldman is the fourth BG. There was a fourth BG. Shows you, obviously, not a fan. There was a fourth BG. His name was Andy. God rest his soul. He died from cocaine. Didn't snort it. I mean, he snorted it until he couldn't snort anymore, and then he poured some into his Coca-Cola and drank it. Boy, oh boy, addiction's a bad thing. Ate a hole in his stomach, and he bled to death. Yeah. My last cig was disgusting. Took 2 pulls and put it out. I love it. I love it. Really? Ooh, I do not know what this is. I do not know what this is. And is it available in the US? Has anybody heard of this? Does anyone know what this is? Because I have not heard of this. Flip Fox. And with the 2 dots. So am I using the U sound? Is that fume? What do we got? Is the new quit smoking tool. It's not smoking or vaping, and it has a fidget part built into it. Anyone tried it yet? I'm thinking of buying one. Where do you see these things? Because I would probably buy one just to show here. Oh, you know what, man? You know what? Oh man. Hume is all over the web at the moment. I'm gonna have to look into it. Yes, available in America. Okay. Bacon Bits Ben Turner is people. He's obviously done too much bacon this morning. Maybe a little spun on the swine, and is actually encouraging Jeremy Shelton. People, we love Jeremy Shelton. He's our guy, right? We would defend him to the death if we were on another channel. But don't encourage him here. Really. Can't be around a smoker. My senses are so sensitive to it. Yeah, you know what? I'm I'm not going to pick on anybody here because I'm not, right? I was a heroin addict. Let's start with that. I was addicted to heroin. So my habit is about the nastiest habit you could see or watch on earth. I also was a smoker. But now, as I have quit cigarettes a long time ago now, I haven't smoked a cigarette. I can't remember the last time I smoked a cigarette. Puma's does not have any nicotine in it. Looks like a legit product. I'm going to check it. I'm definitely going to check it. I promise you. Because I kind of find that fascinating. But after I quit smoking cigarettes, right, this thing does not smell. Has absolutely no smell to it. When I smell a burning cigarette, when I smell the smoke from it, honest to God, every time I smell it, I'm freaked out because they're like where I live, you can go 9 months without seeing someone smoke. Honest to God, I don't ever see anybody smoke in Arizona. Maybe it's because of how hot it is, but the part of Arizona I live in, you just don't ever see anyone smoke. So when you smell one, you're like, it almost feels like back in high school. You know what I mean? Like you walked into the bathroom and smelled smoke, and you're like, holy crap, someone's smoking here. I kind of get that kind of freaked out when I smell it these days. Kristen Melinda, I appreciate your honesty. Kristen Melinda says, to be honest, I want a cigarette now. Quit a long time ago, and I'm not gonna, but I want one now. I get it. I get it. And I respect that you're not going to do it. Kathy, got to practice your butt off. A big piano exam at the end at the university this week. It's my 10th and big. Oh, nice. Congratulations. Head home and please be safe. Congratulations. People, if you've never gone by, if you guys have got a wrench, can you put up a link to Kathy's YouTube channel? This is she's not farting around, right? Kathy is a professional musician and she is just gifted. I'm sure she worked really, really hard at it, but she's gifted. Oh, Shelly, have fun. Sourdough is one of my favorite things in the world and not easy to make. V. McWilliams, the vape that I bought is it is from a company called Lux, I believe. LUX, I think is the name of the company. But I would walk into any vape shop and say to somebody trying to quit smoking, I'm looking for, something to, cut that out of my life and have them get you set up. Some people in the beginning will smoke something so that it tastes like a cigarette because you can actually buy liquid that tastes like a cigarette. I'm not a fan. I don't think I could. I think I'd probably vomit at this point. But the one that I hit is currently mango. Tracy says, I'm so excited to catch a live. I can't seem to find one right now to be replay crew. I guess that's good. Crazy uptick in patient care right now, but I sure do miss you guys. Well, Tracy, I'm going to be back on tonight because my boy had some grill work done, a little grill work. I do not do menthol anything. I don't like the what do they call it? Cool or ice. That's what it is. Ice. It's they make this in an ice. I don't do anything ice. Every time I breathe that stuff in, like someone else will have it. A lot of people like the ice. And I'll say, can I hit that vape? You hit it. Man, that ice thing, I feel like my lungs are getting squeezed every time I breathe it in. It's awful. It really is. It's awful. Have I thought about Vegemite? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I have. I was thinking to myself, if I ever meet Jeremy Shelton, I'm tying that man down. I'm going to force him to eat 3 jars of Vegemite, not those small ones. Talking about the gnarly ones that those crazy Aussies have, right? And I'm going to have I'm going to be doing the back and forth, right? Say 24 hours of a BG slash ABBA marathon where each song goes one to the other. Oh yeah, yeah. It's coming. It's coming. That's right. It's coming. Love you, Jeremy Shelton. Oh, it's too funny. That is too funny. Look at that. I'm leaving you with this one. When am I eating Vegemite? When the lifeboat hits 100,000 subscribers. So you better hit subscribe and the bell for notification, or it's going to be a while. You know what? Peter from the Netherlands, Margaretha. You love what I do for Reese. She's moving to a house with a garden. No, yeah, she's not moving to an apartment. She is not. She is moving to a home that has land and other stuff. There's land around it. She's and she'll probably tell all of you guys that. Walk by an empty cig receptacle outside of a Walmart and take a deep breath. Yikes. Oh, I don't think I could. All right, people, that brings us to about the 1.5 hour mark. I'm going to be back tonight. I'm going to be doing this at the time that Spanx Calhoun. I'm going to split it, is what I'm going to do. All right. So I'm going to be live tonight at 6 o'clock California time. Do you guys get that? 6 o'clock on California time. Caddy, she is not, but I'm going to allow her to tell you where she's going and such. I would feel I don't know that I should tell you guys that. I would imagine she will be shortly though. She may have already. I didn't catch the show she did last night. I was live at that time, so I missed it. But she's definitely she definitely will keep everybody in the loop. She really does love her fan base. I've never seen anybody like Quibble. That woman can go down the list and tell you everything that's going on in everybody's life. It's honestly crazy. Mousy says, Alan Carr, Easy Way to Quit, works on the psychological aspect of the cigarette addiction. Thank you. Good to know. But I'm still going to leave up the have a great day, everyone. I'm off to commit random acts of kindness because I love that. I will see you all tonight. Thank you, everybody. And God bless.